Welcome to my channel, and I wanted to make this video for a very special person, no pun intended at all, who is a special needs person, and his name is Stevie. He's actually an exotic animal keeper, just like I am, just like a lot of people that I know on YouTube are, and he actually has a channel. He cannot speak on his channel, he can only write, and he uploads videos. I always try to encourage him, not only him, but anybody with any type of disability, no matter what it is, no matter what your age, what your race is, what your background is. I always encourage those people, and there's a reason why. And the reason why, before I tie this whole video in together, I want you to get a little bit of a sense of background of where I come from when it comes to people with special needs. My older brother, who is 10 years older than me, he's born in 1969. Now, in 1969, that wasn't too far removed from the civil rights era. I mean, right in the heat of it, he was born. And in fact, Martin Luther King was killed just a year before my brother was born. So he was born right in the heat of this. And my mother, being pregnant with him, to make a long story short, his mental disability, my brother was born slow. He had a slight mental disability, which prevents him from really having the brain capacity to think at his age level, at a educational development stage thing where you would think that he should be thinking on this level. He's always just a little bit behind, and which prevented him from graduating from high school. He had a rough time doing that. Back in the 80s, they didn't have programs like they do now, where if you have where you basically have an IEP and an independent educational program. They didn't have that back then, and because even me, I struggled in school with a few things, and come to find out, I probably had some kind of attention deficit disorder, which I know I probably do. I mean, I've had a lot of doctors say, yeah, you probably do, but I just learned how to deal with it, and I got through it. I graduated, I'm fine. I don't use it as an excuse. But my brother, I mean, he's a very quiet guy. He keeps to himself. He drives a car. He kept a job for a long time. In fact, he was in his mid-40s before the state finally granted him disability, if you can believe that. And the reason why is because when he was born, one of the reasons why he was born with a mental disability is because when my mother was going to labor, she was turned down by not one, I believe, and I'm going to have to talk to her about this subject if she ever really wanted to go on camera and talk about it. I mean, she was on with me with the Lorraine Motel video that I did, so I love her insight. She can tell the story better if she was inclined to do that. He was born slow because when she was denied from going into labor in certain hospitals. They literally told her go someplace else. By the time she delivered him, he was damn near about to pop out on his own, and my father was with him, and he's upset and frustrated. So to get the baby out, now I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the force grips. So I don't know if I'm saying that right. The grips that look like, I guess they're called force grips, vice grip. Well, can't remember what the fuck they call it, but they clamped it on his head and he aided him out, and whatever they did in there, it actually hurt him in a way where it hindered some of his brain capacity. That's the doctor's fault. Now, back then, people, they give you a baby, you go on your way, and they didn't realize he was slow until obviously he got to be older, school age, and they realized, okay, he's a lot slower than other kids. He's a lot more distant, and probably has a lot of autism as well, but that wasn't diagnosed back then. People didn't know what the fuck autism was back in the 80s, so I understand that. So going further into the story, my brother, in a sense, obviously, and this is going to tie me into Stevie here, so bear with me, he was bullied a lot, obviously, because he was slow. Now, because he was bullied a lot, and me being his younger brother, I came 10 years after my brother was born. When my brother was in high school, I was in elementary school, and I shit you not, I used to have to defend him against high school kids. And because my brother just didn't have it in him to verbally fight back. He just was a very shy, introverted person. He still is. Me and him, we went through probably 2 decades where me and my brother barely spoke because I didn't like him, he didn't like me. For whatever reason, he didn't like me when I was growing up. and once I got to be a man, now there's a certain sense I'm more looking at him as a son than I do a brother, because I basically take care of him. Taking care of him means looking after him, making sure that his hair's cut, making sure that he does this, this, and this, because he has trouble with some of that stuff. Again, he's a special needs person, and he needs help. He needs somebody to look after him. And that goes along with bullying. He was bullied a lot when he was in high school, and even just out and about. Sometimes we would go out and about and people would say something about him because of the way he dressed or because of the way he walked or whatever. Now, this ties back into one of the reasons why I never was a bully person, because I used to see my brother go through it and I used to have to defend him from that. And that was tough when you're trying to defend your older brother from being bullied, but you still have people trying to come in and bully me. So I'm fighting whole groups of different people here. But on no level whatsoever have I ever been ashamed of my brother. Have I ever ran away from the fact that he was my brother? I was openly proud of my brother. I've always been proud of my brother. And if people didn't like my brother or they said something about him, you can best believe they weren't not any friends of me anymore. Simple as that. I remember kicking people out of the car if they had something to say to my brother about my brother. You have to be really close to me to be able to get away with it. A family member, if they wanted to say something just like tongue-in-cheek or something, but I didn't put up with it. And this ties me back to Stevie. It's one thing to bully somebody who can help what they are, who can, if they wanted to make a change, if they're just saying, hey, look, this is who I am, and you're bullying me, you shouldn't do it anyway. But if they wanted to say, you know what, I'm tired of bullying, maybe I should just do this. But to bully somebody who was born in this world, who didn't ask to come in this world, didn't ask for the cards they were dealt, for you to bully that person, for you to ride their ass about that, for you to make them feel inhuman, for you to sit there on your high horse and act like you're better than somebody else because you were born quote-unquote normal and they were born a shitty hand and they're doing the best they can to live through it. Shit that most people who are bullying them wouldn't last a fucking second in their shoes. Or if they had somebody in their family, they probably would, if somebody came out right now is like, here's somebody with special needs, they're close to you, take care of them, they have a whole new perspective on it, because it's not easy. One of the toughest things in my life I have to deal with is the fact that I know I don't have just one son who's 8 years old. I have another son who's almost 50, and that's my brother. We literally have a father-son relationship. We never had a brother relationship. And that comes for the fact that I took a responsibility after my dad died in 1994. I knew then, at some point, my mother's not going to live forever. My sister is, I felt like it was on me to put myself in a position, even when I was like 14, 15 years old, to say, okay, you know what, you might want to start looking into the fact that at any point, if your mother passes away, you're going to be responsible for your brother. Especially once I got to be an adult. I knew that. And he is. And he's going to be my responsibility until the day he dies or I die. And I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm proud of him for what he's been through, because it hasn't been easy. He has been incredibly stubborn about some things. There's no doubt about that. But he's still a person. He still was dealt a shitty hand. And he does not make an excuse. He never says, I can't do this because I'm slow. I can't do this because he's got his driver license. He could work if he wants to. He is, for real, sometimes most people don't even know he's slow. They just think he's quiet. And he is extremely quiet, but he is slow. And the older he's getting, it's becoming less and less noticeable, because he's just he's almost 50. He's almost just like this little old man. He doesn't look his age when they age a lot. I shouldn't say they, but a lot of them, because he has a lot of stress. He looks a lot older than he actually is. But the message here is this, and I'm going to keep making these bullying vids as we get the message out, because Stevie did contact me via email. Again, if you need to talk about this, if you're somebody who's been bullied, you have a story you need to share, somebody you need to talk to, you can always email me at thebraveneverfall@gmail.com. Put bullied in the subject line, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. You can ask Stevie that. I try to get back to you as soon as possible and talk about this subject, not only just email him back, which I'm going to continue communication with him as well to check up on him so he knows there's somebody out there he can talk to, so he don't have to feel bad about it. And if I have to make 1,000 videos about it, I will, because I can't tell you how important this is and how it ties into so many different realms. Not only the subject of bullying, but the misunderstanding and the way people kind of dismiss the fact that special needs people are bullied all the time as well. It's a form of bullying that people don't really talk about all that much. And you want to talk about cowards, because a lot of this stuff, especially if you go on social media, you can see the keyboard warriors come out full force when it comes to bashing special needs people through bullying and verbal abuse. It's embarrassing. As a human race, it's an embarrassment for us to have to deal with people like that. And I just can't stand by and see it. And whenever somebody like Stevie, and go check out his channel, please. I'll put a link in the description. Go check out Stevie's channel. Show him your support. He deserves it. I can't sit by and just let people go through that. It breaks my heart to read emails like the one Stevie sent me. And it breaks my heart to know that my brother has to live a life of a life that he doesn't even complain about. And some people who have everything handed to them and everything's going great, and they're complaining about their lives and they're taking out their quote-unquote troubles on other people in forms of bullying and abuse and all other types of things that make any person who does that inhuman. So that'll wrap this one up. Again, contact me at thebraveneverfall@gmail.com if you are being bullied and you need someone to talk to. I am here for you. These videos are for you, and they will continue to show awareness. And Stevie, stay strong. Keep your head up. You can do it. Just because people are beneath you doesn't mean you have to get down on yourself. You continue to make your videos in any which way you can. There's going to be people who support you. They will continue to support you. You just keep being yourself. You be you and you be genuine. And to everyone out there, do the same and be safe as well. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.